Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to Flashpoint. I'm David Coty. We are here today in the office of the Managing Director of the LWSC. He is the Honorable Muhammad Ali, commonly known as Mo Ali. And so we are here today to talk to him about his workings here. The entire country is very impressed with what is happening here. We have invited him on ELBC before on our program where we're just coming from, but he will find time to come. But I chose to come to him this trip to talk a little bit about what he's doing here. And he's going to be invited to the show to express to the public on ELBC all about his good work. Welcome to Flashpoint, sir.
Thank you so very kindly, and I'm happy to be appearing on Flashpoint for the very first time. At least it's an honor for me. And also to, the person that is conducting the interview is somebody that I've respected and I respect over the years. He's an elderly statesman who has, over the years portrayed himself in such a manner that is enviable. I'm happy to have you here, sir.
Well, if somebody like you can give me that kind of compliment, I'm delighted. Yeah, I'm happy. Thank you. Okay, first of all, we know you, but please introduce yourself. The public would like to know a little bit about you. You could decide to talk about your educational background, your hobby, just anything.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So I'm Muhammad Ali. I hail from Grand Cape Mount County. I graduated from SDA on Ken Johnson Road in 1998, and then went on to the UL. Graduated with a degree in biology in 2006, and then got a master's from the University of Leeds in England. I've worked in several capacities, particularly in the private sector. I also worked at the Ministry of Finance up to 2018. Then I resigned and literally got on with politics. Played a very active role in the Unity Party. 2017, I was campaign spokesman for the JMB campaign, and again became spokesman of the JMB campaign in 2023. Became secretary of the UP from 2020 up to 2022. So I've been in and out in the public sector. And now I am Managing Director of the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, a role that I hold very dearly, and doing everything to succeed along with my team.
Okay. Well, thank you. We know that you're very busy here, but what do you do after your hard day's work? We know that jack of all play. Yeah.
Honorable Kuti, honestly, some of us from Kate grew up the very tough way. So I didn't grow up engaging into a lot of social activities. So, like young men will go out to the club, have some drinks with your colleagues. So it's not used to me. So normally I have to catch up with a lot of people. A lot. I follow football a lot. I watch a lot of football matches, both locally and internationally. Interestingly, we are not on the same side in local football. I know you to be a very big fan of IE.
Right.
And I am a fan of Mighty Barrow.
Okay. Well, it has the same family.
Yeah.
My only thing is that when it comes to the international football, I don't know why I'm not there. I don't sit in my house to watch any international football game. I just didn't know. Though I was one time Secretary General of IE for 3 years, then I became Vice President for Administration of IE for 4 years. I was even an executive member of the LFA 6 years. But why is it that I don't love this international football? I don't know why. But let's come back to why we are here. Thank you. Mr. MD, what's the mandate of, what is your mandate here as Managing Director? And what's the mandate of the LWSC? What are you supposed to be doing?
So, let me start with the mandate of the LWSC. Right. Prior to 1973, there was an entity called the Public Utility Authority.
That I know.
So the Public Utility Authority at that time comprised of LWSC, LEC, and LTA, Liberia Telecommunication, or RTC as you like. In 1973, there was a legislation that separated the entities apart.
Okay.
So then LWSC became an entity,
Okay.
I think an LEC, and as well as the LTC.
Okay.
So we were established to provide water to urban centers,
Okay.
Monrovia, county capitals, and every community that has a population of 5,000 and above.
5,000 above.
5,000 and above.
Okay.
In the same vein, we also should provide sewer facilities for the same description that I just gave.
Yeah.
LWSC has been performing that role. You are older people, or you know what LWSC used to do. For example, in the first 9 counties, when you go to any of them, with the exception of Cape Mount that had a water system up the hill,
Yeah.
you'll see this elevated huge tower. It's in Magibi, it's in Lofa, it's in Bong, in Grange there, Nimba, Sino, Maryland. It's in all those, the first 9 counties. They are all there, constructed in 1970 for water supply purposes. The sewage system in Monrovia was constructed in 1953 by President.
The very year I was born.
yeah, by President Todmong, and the water treatment plant was constructed in 1958.
Okay.
So the first pipe that ran from there is the one that goes through Douala, through Cardboard, through Douala, the 16-inch pipe that was constructed in 58, and then the next one, the huge 36-inch pipe that we are replacing now, was constructed in 1968, 10 years later. That passes through pipeline to Congo Town. So that's the mandate of the LWSC.
To provide water?
To provide water and sewage facilities to the population. Now, the rural communities is the Ministry of Public Works that's responsible. That was a function of the Ministry of Rural Development.
Okay.
So, they used to build these hand pumps in the communities.
Okay.
My mandate.
Yes.
So, before I came here, the president told me, you have to revive LWSC.
Okay.
The people need water. In fact, that is one of the prime reasons why he made sanitation, which water falls under, as part of his arrest agenda.
Okay.
And, LWSC was cardinal to his sanitation agenda. And so he told me, you have to go there, revive the entity. I don't want to see the feces in the street. Okay. You have to clean it up, you have to fix the system, and you have to provide water. So basically that was a broader mandate. And so it's this mandate that we are trying to implement all over. And he told me, don't limit yourself to Monrovia.
Pardon?
Don't limit yourself to
Monrovia.
Monrovia.
Okay.
It has to be nationwide.
All right.
So that's my mandate.
That's your mandate. Okay.
Yes. So we are reviving LWSC and we are reaching out beyond the scope of Monrovia.
Okay. And are you proud of yourself since you became? I have a question here where you were talking about your signature achievement. But we'll come to that. But let me ask you whether you are proud of what you're doing so far. The public is talking about you. They're praising you. They're saying all the good things about you. What do you think about yourself?
Honorable Kuti, I'll begin to be proud of myself when we shall have achieved 60-70% of our mandate. Yeah, the public is saying the good things. I'm humbled by that, but I don't want to get carried by that, by those praises, because there is a lot to be done. When you go into communities and you see kids scrambling at hand pump or well to fetch water, and you come back and sit, you say, well, I think I need to reach water there.
Yeah.
The one thing that makes me happy is the fact that we're now receiving volume of requests from communities for connection. Because if we were not supplying to the needs of the people, they wouldn't request. There were people who were on the system, they voluntarily disconnected themselves.
Okay.
Because you carry bills to them when they are not receiving the service for those bills. And the other thing that made me really happy, on 2 occasions. One, I went to a program. It was in the church, and they called my name for remarks. It was actually a funeral service.
Yeah.
And after giving the remark, I came out. A little girl, oh, so you the Uncle Mo Ali? I said, yes. She said, thank you. So I was curious to know why she was saying thank you. So I asked her why. She said, you know, what are your husband? So this time, I can't go out. They can't wake me off out to go draw.
home.
Which is
Getting
a
late for
very
school.
burden for kids. And those kind of kids, 5, you wake the kid or they go in fresh water, take longer time to the hand pump or the well. They come back before they do house work and go to school. They sleep in class. Yeah. And they feel, and you say they adore. Yeah. Another kid in Matadi told me the same thing. Thank you, Uncle Mo. This time, can't go draw water to the hand pump to steal on.
Took over. So that's number 1. 2 questions into 1.
There was huge irregularity in water supply. So every time the water was not coming, you get water supply for 1 week, and then for 1 month you can't get water supply. The sewer line. Now, if we were in the field, I will show you some of the work that people are doing as we speak. There was always this spillage of sewage all over in central Monrovia, in Cinco and down Waterside, all these places, Megden Street. Monrovia, central Monrovia did not have water supply. And so when I was coming, I made my own mandate. Say number 1, regularize water supply to those that already have connections in receiving water. Number 2, restore water supply in central Monrovia, even if it is minimum. Number 3, clean the streets, clean the sewer lines so that you can have a consistent spillage of sewage. And so we get to that. I took over in March. By May, we restore water supply to central Monrovia.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's not 24 hours, but at least every day, those who are in central Monrovia and they are connected, they have their reservoir. 4, 5, 6 hours, we run the water supply they want to fill in the reservoir. We just completed connection to the Ministry of Finance and Central Bank, the Echo Bank, and other places. Then we got on the sewer system. For 4 or 5 years, there were no attempt to clean the sewer line. And so, our guys who can steal the tap, they go and sell it to the scrap dealers, store the tap, sold them to scrap dealer, and those sewer men will begin dump site. So the feces will kick inside, and the other part will just flow in the street. So we set on to clean the lines and open them. We did that. We began covering those manhole, very expensive one, each tap. Seti manufacturers for us for $300 for a tap.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, $300. And so we have done that, those ones. Now there are some major issues. I told you about the Public Utility Authority that was established.
Right.
So then, when the president then, thought to run the sewer line in the world, lay out Central Monrovia, there are places they call PUA alley, public utility alley.
Okay.
So in those alleys, there's supposed to be water line, sewer line, telecom line, and in the future, and those are places that even have fire hydrants.
Okay.
People have constructed to all these places.
Can you imagine that?
Now you do not have access to manhole in the community in order to flush out. So we had to take a very hard decision to demolish the structures on the public utility, and we haven't completed. We're waiting for the dry season good. Because public works is going to recondition the road. As we speak, they're working on that Benson and Gelly Street place you see, always leaking. Two things happen. When the lines got clogged, the residents around that disconnect. That's something that's good. Now, you talk about signature programs. There are projects. There are two. To have restored more water to Central Monrovia after, I think, over 10 years. In fact, there are some communities we went to. The first time we opened the line, we opened the water system. Like behind the Episcopal Church, there's a community there. The guy said, since 1992, we haven't seen water here. And, so people who had pumps in their homes, and they just saw water flowing, and their places got wet, and some damaged pipes all over the place. So for 1 month plus, we were just on leak repair. That's one for me. The next one, there will be others that will come. The next one is to put water in Bapulu. I mean, Bopolu City in Bapulu. This place I've never seen running water. Then we started off minimum. As I speak, the contractors are there. They are running additional lines so that we can increase the water supply in Bopolu. Those are two projects for me that stand out. And there are some that are in the pipeline that are coming up. They are very huge.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your 5-year plan.
Yeah, they are very huge.
We're going to talk about your 5-year plans.
Yeah.
But you just mentioned something about Bapulu. That brings to mind a question. We were in Monrovia, and these environs, Broadville, Virginia. We haven't got water yet.
True.
I remember one time you were on the radio, I talked about it, you gave us some hope.
Yeah.
But my question is, why are you way there in Bapulu and Nimba when you haven't completed Monrovia yet?
That is a real good question. So like I told you,
I get jealous when I hear about
I know. Our mandate goes beyond Monrovia.
All right.
Even though in the act, the first place is the act talks about, say, Monrovia first, county capitals, and other places with 5,000 and above. But you see, water is also political everywhere.
Right. I like that.
So, here's how the Bapulu project happened. Senator Amara Kone lobbied with his colleagues, and he put some money in the budget. He said, I want water in Bapulu, in Bopolu City. And so they lobbied, he lobbied, and colleagues agreed. They put money in the budget for the construction of that system. It's the same with other counties that we are working in now. So, but our plan is, first, this coming year, we want to conduct a feasibility. There are communities where we have standalone stations in Soul Clinic in Pinsville. We have a standalone station there.
What does that mean?
Well, where we build elevator water tower and pump from the groundwater into the tank, purify it, and then supply it into the community. We have one in New Georgia. It's the same thing that we build in the counties. So that's why we are planning it. Until we can change the main transmission line from White Plains, it's just 16 inch. It was built for a population around 200,000. Population is way beyond. Just across on that side, it's way beyond that. And so we can only do a standalone station there until we completely change the pipe. So our plan is to source funding to change our 16 inch to 24 inch.
All right. I know you're very busy today. We're not going to keep too long.
No less.
All right. What are your plans for the next 5 years in improving the system?
So the first thing we did, one of the first things we did was to embark on drafting, validating our strategic plan for 5 years. So part of that strategic plan is to ensure that we restore water supply to all the 15 county capitals, all of them. We also want to rehabilitate our sewer system, which costs a lot of money, but we are attracting, we are sending messages out for people to express interest, businesses, because it's a money-making business.
Yes.
We also want to ensure that, Monrovia and its environs at the end of 2029, at least every home should have pipe within their premise. It's a difficult thing, but it's doable. So as part of that plan, what we've begun to do is to reach out to the counties. Right now, as we speak, you were here talking to the contractor.
Yeah. I saw him.
We are going to construct a brand new water supply system in Plebo.
I heard you talking about it.
And we are expected to complete that by the end of 2026. Plebo, like Bobolo, has never seen a water supply where people open tap. It's just wells and hand pump. And they have a very huge population. They're the most populated city in the southeast. So Senator James Barney lobbied with the Ministry of Finance and said, I want water here. The Ministry of Finance agreed with you. Then in Greenville, they have one of the oldest water supply systems that has been down since the early 90s during the crisis. We are rehabilitating and expanding that throughout the city of Greenville. And then in Zwedru. And all these projects, the lawmakers lobby for them. In Greenville, for example, is Representative Romeo Kuya.
Okay.
In Zwedru, Senator Emmanuel Peno, lobby for that. So we will be completing those 3 projects by the end of next year.
Right.
We have conducted feasibility studies for Buchanan, Kakata, and Ganta. This coming year, we'll conduct feasibility studies for Foya and Banga, and River Cestus in Riverside. So we have also done studies for Fishtown and Barclayville. The engineers are working on the report. Why is the feasibility study important? Because you get investors come, they say, what are the ready projects? You don't want to go scratching your head. What are the ready projects? How much will it cost to invest into this? And on the tip of your finger, you can just say, okay, Ganta, we need $8 million to construct a new water project. To rehabilitate and expand the water system in Buchanan, we need $4.4 million. In Kakata, we need $3.9 million. Like that, and then one of the biggest projects we are doing is also changing our 36-inch transmission line to 48-inch. That is a very expensive one. The government of Liberia, with loan from the World Bank, we're doing the first 10 kilometers. We are completing it by December this year, this December 31st. And then we needed 22 million to complete the other 15 kilometers. We've been having discussions with the African Development Bank. They've come on the identification mission. They've come on the appraisal mission. And in January, they will come for the approval mission. All of the indications are that they will grant the money because the environmental team conducted their assessment. They categorized the project as a category 2 project, which means they can give it instant approval. So we've done that. In fact, they just ended their appraisal mission last week. So we are hoping that by March, the board will approve it, the AFDB board, and they will submit to the legislature, the Ministry of Finance or the President will submit to the legislature for ratification. So we're hoping that if it is submitted in March, by June, July, the legislature can ratify the financing agreement, and by end of July or August, we can start the next phase. And that runs from White Plains to White Flowers in Congo Town is 25.4 kilometers long.
Sounds good.
And that is the section that supplies the Pinsdale, part of Magibi, part of the entire Cinco, part of Central Monrovia, and everything. So it's a very huge project that we are undertaking.
Let's talk about challenges. Everything will not be rosy anyway.
Absolutely.
I think it's only in the Republic of Heaven where you won't have challenges. With all of the good things you're doing here that the entire country is talking about, what are those things that you think must happen? What are your challenges? Is it finances from inside the government, support from there? Or what are your challenges?
The first thing is we have to build the manpower capacity of the LWSC. We have lots of employees, but capacity is a problem. The salary structure, the wage bill, is huge for the entity. Look, by international standard, a water utility should have 10 staff per 1,000 connection. So every 1,000 customer, you have 10 staff. LWSC now, our customer base nationwide, that includes places with independent operators. But in Monrovia, in this environment, we have around 20,000 connections. So that means we should have no more than 200 staff. When we took over LWSC, we had 622 staff with a wage bill of 387,000.
Can you imagine it?
We've done some cleanup. It's dropped to 314,000.
From 600 to 314,000.
No, from 387,000. So the workload itself dropped to around 500 plus.
Oh, okay.
So that is a huge challenge because you are not generating that amount monthly to settle your wage bill. So that's a huge problem. The other one also now, obviously financing is a huge problem. It's a huge challenge to everyone. But I would say this, since we took over, the government has been really, really supportive, especially helping with the salary. So that gives our breathing space to generate revenue, to operate the treatment plant, for the operational costs. Mm-hmm. So it's been, taking stock of all that we are doing and what we want to do, we need funding for it. So it boils down to it, but in order to overcome our challenges, is either we cut down the wage bill or we supply more water to increase the number of customers. Yeah. At least if we can get 60,000 customers, then we're good. The next one.
I wish it'd be one of those 60,000.
Yeah, definitely. The next one is power supply to the water treatment plant. Our operation directly depends on LEC.
Yes.
So dry season will suffer just as everybody. That's why just not too long the managing director of LEC and myself at the program now telling him you'll try the dry season, so that we can also be able to a constant water supply. So the future plan is to construct renewable energy supply system for White Plains. If you can do that, if we can get that accomplished, we will be good, because we need around 3 to 4 megawatts of power to run White Plains. The pump that I installed there to pump water from White Plains to Monrovia, they're very heavy, very, very heavy, and when the current drops a little, they can pick it up. Yeah, so it's huge. So the power consumption there is huge. So we need, renewable energy. So we are thinking, we've asked companies to do studies to see if we can install solar power there, like we have with our outstation. So most of the new constructions that we're doing outside Morovia, we are not doing generator. We're just putting solar power to power the system, and so it is worked so well in Sanikode, in Vonjama, and in Ravospo. It's working well now in Popolu. So it's the same thing we do for Greenville, for Plebo, and for Swedru.
Okay, finally, like I said, we are very happy for the warm welcome, so we're not going to keep too long here. Finally, what is your overall assessment of the entire government? I don't want to say the party because people may think we get a party matter here. But when I ask you about the government, that includes the party. What is your overall assessment about the workings of the government?
So thank you. Normally it would be good for outsiders to make the judgment, but when we listen to people and when we see, we know what we took over. You go to the various entities, ministries, and agencies and commissions. You see what was there and what is there now. I'll just show you an example. For example, water and sewer. If you are come here to look at what this building was and what it is transforming to.
Before you move further on that, I had a contractor for 1 year. When my good friend Humberto was here, I was in this building. I would finance department. I was all over here. I used to come to collect my little thing. I'm not condemning anybody. But when I got here on Wednesday and saw this place, and I was reminded about what it was. So you're preaching to the pastor.
So it was a huge challenge everywhere. But I look at it from the common things. For example, what was it like for petroleum products on the market? Gasoline, fuel oil. The supply was short and the cost was high. People used to fight in line. People can ball. Taxi drivers would stay in line for hours. Is that happening anymore? No. There were always shortage of rice. The one we like, everyone.
I was staple. That's what staple.
Now, you don't hear that. You don't hear people complaining on the cost of rice anymore.
Let me just tell you something a little bit. Well, here now we're going to LBC today. LBC is on the radio and also on my Facebook. We stopped somewhere to buy fuel. What did I tell you about that I was surprised of?
The price of a fuel?
$800.
Yeah.
LD. And, look, go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. Then you also look at commuting from here, and we always set example on Lofa and the southeast. By this time, it would have been practically impossible to go to the southeast without spending weeks on the road or passing through Ivory Coast. Now, you can even take a taxi during the rainy season and go to as far as Maryland. I did that. Went to Maryland, from Maryland to Greenville, and took the other route to come back. When those things happen, price will drop dramatically, and you can hear from the people themselves. And when you even come to the civil servant thing, salary payment is no longer like a news.
No.
And in last year, in this budget, the government increased, salary for more than 22,000 civil servants.
Each time you talk, I'm sorry, I have something to bring in. I started working for money in this country in 1974. When I became a teacher at the SDA school in Vonjama. And later on with the government and so on. When you talk about salary payments, no more news, something came to my mind. During our time with government, not SDA, with SDA, we used to, my first salary was $25. 1974, we used to get paid at $28 every month. SDA was good at that. When I joined the government, it became one something. But the point I'm making here is that whenever pay was coming, the whole world knew. It was news, big news. Not only news here, where everybody knew you were taking pay. So people you owe. We're all ready for it. So we're ready.
Because we announce it. We announce it.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, so those are things that you look at. And even, the efforts we're now making in fighting drugs. One of my colleagues was saying, I don't see the number of Zogos that I used to see in the streets. I say, yeah, that's because the supply side of the business is cutting off, and so they themselves are now going to the treatment centers. They will want to take treatment. So for me, those are common indicators that you will look at to say, yeah, the country is performing. Next year, the budget, we took over around 600 million. Next year, the budget is going to 1 billion.
Yeah, 1.2.
That is a huge, huge achievement. And when people say, oh, the recurring cost is too high.
Don't mind that. People have to take care.
But, okay, let's put the salaries aside. Recurring costs are like furniture, sheets, right, stationaries, and all these things. If you say cut it off from the budget, those who selling stationery, how do they survive?
That's the whole thing.
The people who selling furniture, how do they survive?
Apart from that, even you who's doing your office work, how will you be able to work with
exactly? So, the more the recurring cost in the budget, the more the smaller businesses in the country get empowered. Because then every year they will get to the lay person that has a stationery store or can supply one ministry or agency with sheep, they get to supply more. Their business get to expand.
They employ people.
Exactly. The carpenters that are making, these decks that we're doing, like here now, a new policy. We have a local contractor who is producing all of our furniture down. So when you go down, you see all of our doors and everything, the new furniture that we're getting there. They are all produced locally. So recurring cost is one way through which you empower the people. Then also in the budget, they put huge amount there for debt servicing, local debt servicing. So those businesses that government own and they verify, they will be getting their money from government. They can reinvest into their businesses. And so there are lots of indicators that you can see around to know that the government have a different impression as to whether the people are angry with the government or not. I will leave it to that.
Thank you. Mr. MD, that's not the place to even find out whether the people are happy or not. It is we who will be there. But the best way to know it is to walk around. If you saw my paper the other day, where I have decided to do 150 reasons for the re-election of Uncle Joe, I didn't say because I was laughing. I know what I'm saying because I'm seeing what is happening all over, including your own entity.
Precisely.
Yeah. By the way, let me say many thanks to you once again for this warm hospitality.
I appreciate it.
We talked to you not too long ago. You said, "Come." I'm sorry that the day weekend you were very busy working.
Yeah, I didn't know the World Bank thing was going to be here that long.
Yeah.
But we are grateful that you came and happy that you finally made it and we are discussing. And I look forward to always engaging you.
Yes. So many thanks, Mr. MD. What are your final comments on before we close up?
So let me say, so you know with me always, but I always told my colleagues that there are a few things I learned from you. One, the way you take care of the ego.
Oh, yeah.
I say I admire that. Number two, you believe in what you do. We are a different breed from you. For you, it doesn't matter who is there. When the person does the right thing, you see it.
Yeah.
When it is not right, you differ with it.
Yeah.
I think if many of us are like you, we will have an easygoing society. And you've been so consistent in managing the flashpoint.
Oh yeah, thank you.
For a very long time.
Yeah.
I think it's more than 10 years now.
13 years now.
13 years. And you're not one of those just running after, you won't be in government, you won't be in government, you do your own business, you do your own thing, and I admire that. So then lastly, I like to say to my colleagues in government, we have an obligation don't see it like you're doing it for the president. See it like you're doing it for yourself. Because when you consider that you're working for yourself and you want to make yourself better, you do it for the people and you do it for the country. Right. On this note, I'd like to say thank you for coming, and I look forward to sitting in the studio at EABC with you one of these days.
That's going to be a good discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. MD.
Thank you so much.
We have been in discussion with the Honorable Muhammad Ali, commonly known as Mo Ali. We've been talking about his achievements here and what he plans to do for this entity for the next 5 years. Thank you very much again. We'll be with you next time.